All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Whoa, 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 whoa. All right, there we go. We are ready to start the show. Y'all welcome in. Let me get this music turned down here. And I'm out of here. Do, do, do. All right, live sometimes doesn't go always as you plan it, but we are here. Welcome everybody to Andrews the podcast, Real Talk Tuesday with myself and Mayor Frank McClary. Uh, Mayor, how are you today?
Hey, doing great, doing great. Good to see you again.
Absolutely, absolutely. I do want to apologize to everybody for a little late start time, but nonetheless, we have a lot of great topics that we're gonna go over tonight. Um, First, let's go ahead and get the uh, congratulations to Dr. Giles for being officially now installed, named as the superintendent for Georgetown County School District. Give see if I can find my round of applause up here
Yeah, that's a big
for
deal.
that. That is definitely a big deal, man.
It's a position well earned. So, also like to congratulate her, wherever she is out there, probably still recovering from all the anxiety that came along with this process. So, there she is, Dr. Giles. So, congratulations. I think, well, I'm convinced that this was the best decision for the county. So, but you can't do it alone. So we all have to, chip in and do our part, help move things along. That's everybody, community, family, our staff, and everyone that's around, surrounding her will certainly make this thing work. And if we don't
And
work together, it's not just it will fail. Simple as
that,
that.
that goes back to her speech during the selection process, about unity and staying and be the success is being able to work together,
That's correct.
and like you said though, that's the thing that we can't just we just can't throw, like, all right, here you go, it's on you, you know what I mean. No, we need to support her in the ways that no other superintendent has been supported, um in in that position, in order to see these things that some people may have in their minds, that she's supposed to come and just immediately, okay, well, fix this, fix that. um we used you will some things that came up, I know right now, that's probably at her desk that she's dealing with, like, so it's not a uh not a long honeymoon period before she's dealing with some real issues on
Yeah,
her
no,
desk.
it's happening. It was happening while she was the interim. Before when she was a deputy, when she was a principal, when she's a teacher and a student. So it's always going to be something that has to be dealt with. Some tough decisions have to be made. So shouldn't be a stranger to that. What's the difference maker is how well folks around her are prepared and willing to work with her to solve some of these challenges or find a solution. And so she can't do it alone. None of them, even the ones prior to her. And there's going to be times when we probably don't agree with some of the decisions, but no one knows what the head of whatever organization have to consider when they're making these decisions. They don't know.
Yeah.
We only see it from our perspective, but we have to trust the process, trust the person that we put in place, that they are doing the right thing for the right reasons. And that's really what it boils down to. And then she can be able to show that, express that. And again, it may not be popular, but it may be the best thing to do based on the circumstances surrounding each and every separate incident. We talked off camera here a little bit ago about what seems to be a similar situation here that recently happened, but what are the facts surrounding each of these apparently, similar cases?
Yeah, and like I said, we did talk, off, and the situation you're talking about is it's all of Gab now. It's the situation here where you see this is a sensational picture right here. This is a sensational picture. This picture could really really sets a tone and really. So the situation is they had a threat, similar situation over at Waccamaw. I don't know to the degree. I know in this situation, allegedly, the young man sent a text to a friend. The friend showed it to a parent, and the parent turned it over to law enforcement. And from the reports, there was a raid on the property, which they found a weapon or whatever, and but there was a similar situation, threat type situation, a threat communicated, but that was handled in house over at in Waccamaw. And so, yeah, it on again, these things have, there's layers to them, there's levels to them, and all that good stuff, but there's a lot of questions there also, because again, you're dealing with a undeveloped mind, just in this case, a 12-year-old boy, and I'm not making excuses for him, but the reality is, the male mind, the male brain doesn't develop until 25 years old, and so no telling what other kinds of, this kid is online, displaying weapons like this. No telling what kind of other things this child is engaged in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think the point you're making again, two threats. That's the first thing. Two threats to harm or cause harm to the school, whether it's blowing it up in one incident and the other incident by shooting it up. So, and when we talk about some of the challenges that the superintendent always involved, to include the sheriff department, who responds to these school incidents. One is turned over to be handled by the school district, and the other is allegedly going to remain in the hands of
the police. They're gonna.
But then the question that you see is, when you kind of go through some of these comments on here, what are the difference? Why is one criminal? Why is one going to be administrative?
I mean, I had a conversation about. Was having a conversation about. Again, like you said, those the where I lost my train of thought right there, because
what we're talking about again. How do you differentiate? In terms we're talking about now transparency when there are similar situations. This is the point I was trying to make in terms of the challenges that faces leaders. In this case, we were talking about Dr. Giles here and the superintendent, whereas you're having a few days apart two similar situations where there are threats to the school. And I saw a comment just popped up.
Yeah, where it says no threats to the school, but
what's reported. Yeah. And out there on the street now to be dealt with, rather through hey, this wasn't a threat or whatever the case may be in the people's mind. There were two threats. One was a bomb threat allegedly, and one with this weapon. They are in, both of them are students. one is in Waccamaw, one is in Carvers Bay. One is going to be handled by the school district. The other is going to be handled by law
law
enforcement.
enforcement.
So then, again, to keep transparent and make sure that we are not letting people come to their own conclusions about these things that serious. At some point in time, it's got to be talked about. What are the elements that differentiate between these two cases that put them in these two categories? Is what I'm trying to.
And now I remember what I was saying. It just like this weekend in Andrews, there was a memorial for my cousin Damon and this other young man, and in that case, like you know, I wasn't able to attend, but I heard it online, and you know, heard the mom talking about how there's different levels. Like now, I'm starting to question the veracity of the investigation. Like, are these people really going after the answers that seem to me, you know what I mean, a layman would just be, it's just kind of laying right there. Like, you know, there wasn't a ballistics test, you know, where the suspected, you know, alleged shooter or whatever was shot and all this other good stuff or whatever. But my point is yeah, is that what we're looking at the school level when it comes to these threats, you know?
And I will say this again, we don't know, you know, I'm the mayor, so I'm not in law enforcement office, so I don't know the level of details of these agencies, to include our agency and other agencies that were involved in it, where they are in the investigation. I know it's a slow process, and because they want to make sure they get it right. If you're going to come bring a case to court or to, you know, to a judge that says, hey, we want to get a warrant for someone's arrest, you better have the evidence, and it better be, you know, it better be solid. Sometimes it takes a lot longer. As I was out there, and it's very emotional. My heart goes out to all of the families that have suffered this, and I think we had about 5 families at that rally that has had this type of experience in terms of a loved one, a child gunned down in the street, and so it's very emotional, and it's going to be that way even after these cases are solved. But from and one thing I spoke, you know, about, which is, you know, is that we're, you know, as a community, we talk about everyone being a part of the solution. Where the folks who may have seen this, you know, and have credible information to share that can bring this case to court. Again, so then in terms of the details of investigation, there's a lot of moving pieces in there, and they're coming together. Obviously, not as fast as the families of the victims, but they're coming together, and we got us hold strong. But what would move these things faster than they move is people willing to step up, get on that stand, and say what they saw. Other than that, we're relying on evidence and, you know, other things to put it together. And that's you know, so we all have a role, especially those that were, you know, in and around and saw what happened in these cases.
Yeah, and it's I was just going over it. There's a lot of unsolved cases, and recently here I mean, one is a lot to me.
Yeah.
But you take the case of the young lady that was killed at the unauthorized nightclub over in the Oakland area, unsolved. These 2 young men right there in the middle of town, unsolved. You look at over in Deerwood years ago, my man Sam and that other young man over there with him, unsolved. You know what I mean? And there's a bunch of other ones that are just unsolved, and a lot of it is because people just refuse to come forward and speak up.
And if you put yourself in the place of these families that are suffering, if this was your child, your brother, your sister, your mom, pop, whatever the case may be, you would want someone who has credible information again to step forward. You just got to stand on it. I mean, that's, you know, put friendship aside or anything else that you may try to judge these victims in terms of their lifestyle, whatever the case may be. It is not right for
killers to be walking around in the community.
Yeah, because you don't know, you're really leaving them out to do this again potentially. And then you know, but first off, you're not giving these families an opportunity to move forward. with their lives. This will forever be something that plagues them, you know? And so we have a responsibility, bottom line, as a community. We all do.
So I was just corrected, and it is not Oatland. It was Dunbar where that happened, but Oatland has two unsolved home invasion murders over there. And
Yeah.
this is all in Georgetown County. And I'll just say this: there's an election coming up. There is an election coming up here. Um, there's going to be a lot of different things on that you guys are going to be voting on in Georgetown County. Um, a couple are going to be dealing with the tax hike that you guys are going to be voting for. Um, capital project sales tax, penny sales tax hike, and I think what is this right here? Nope, that's the local sales tax, but this is the one right here. Sales tax, and this is this was a list of the meetings that are still supposed to be taking place. The next meeting being October 3rd in Plantersville, and Tuesday, September 17th, that meeting that took place at the elementary school. That was the same day that Dr. Giles was. Uh, so, what was the attendance at that meeting?
I haven't gotten any feedback on that. As you say, it was an important um, event taking place with Dr. Giles, as as the superintendent, and so um, that required, our attention to show our support for her. Again, it was community engagement and community input that matters too. But again, as the chairperson for the board clearly articulated to us, yes, it was good that we were supporting her, but her credentials spoke for herself. So, but we wanted to make sure, again, it's still great to have that support on the ground, to show that there are people out here really, wanted this young lady to become the next superintendent. So that's why we were there. So we missed this. But there's other opportunities. We were a part of this thing, the entire way. So we are very knowledgeable about what the local option sales tax and the capital project sales tax really means. I'm in support of these type funding, vehicles, if you will. But our concerns is that we want this to be handled different than the last one. And so then that's where you don't have 100% confidence that it will be or not. And so we got some things to work through to make sure that what we're being told is actually going to be executed over the next 8 years.
Yeah, I'm not so optimistic. And I'm interested in hearing or seeing some feedback from the meeting, because the purpose of the meeting is to educate the public as to what they're going to be voting on come November. So if there wasn't a big turnout, then what is the county doing to are they just going to say, well, they're not interested, so we just do what we want to do? Or do they
to their credit, it's like any other action we have to take to the public. Make it known, market it out there so people, and then it's up to the people to show up. It's like any of our council meetings. They're regularly held, and if you don't show up, then you chances are you're going to miss something that you probably have some concerns about. And so it's the county in this respect. You got to give them credit. They put it out there, so it should have been full. And again, I don't know what the status is, but we will, as we move through this thing over the next 6 weeks, as it leads to the, or however long it is leading to November 5th, we got some work to do again to ensure that this thing is going to be carried out the way it's laid out.
And just real quick, not I guess we could do this get deeper into it, but for right now, here's what the list look like, guys. Here's what you're going to be voting on in November, right? We can get down into it. Number 1, the Brown Ferry District. Yes, this is the right list.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'm looking at
Yeah.
the full list in front of me here on my desk.
Yep.
And Andrews has 4 and 5, which the number 4 is at 2.3 million that addresses the water system improvement. And 5 for Andrews is the 652,000 as grant match that we've already committed to projects we have in progress right now. So we'll get those match dollars back.
But we're talking how long?
Well, obviously it will be voted on in November. They begin the collection period if it passes in 2025. I think April, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And then the money has, as sales go and this pot begins to grow, then these projects in the order that's listed on the referendum that will be funded. Okay, so what we anticipate, if you look at Andrews, or not just Andrews, you look at the top 5, and I'll talk about Andrews.
Mm-hmm.
So it's anticipated that there will be anywhere $80 to $100 million collected over the next 8 years. That being the case, so we'll say $10 million collected every year. So it starts in 2025, 2026. If it stays on par with with the estimate collection, Andrews will get funding for both 2 of the 3 that were approved.
All right. So the question is it like the last time? Well, not like the last time so much, but is it where the spending starts at the end of the tax collection period, or does the spending start during the tax collection period?
It should be during. So, for example, the first project is at 3.0 mil. So once they collect that money is ready to be allocated to the Browns Ferry Water District.
And move off the table.
Yeah, and again, there's a procurement process, or acquisition process that they have to go through. But once that money hit the pot and they got it, it's in hand, they can begin that project.
All right. So does it account for maybe the cost that they got it estimated right there is going to be higher than what it? Do they have a buffer, 10%?
Yeah, they did build a cost increase. I'm not sure what term they're using, a buffer, if you will. That will cover those things as time, because again, this is the best guess. This was not an engineered, the whole details are kind of laid out.
That's how we got in trouble the last time.
I know. And that they did their best. These are the best guess based on some data that, they use. It's like we did. We take the best data you have available. Now, in our case, we had these things already locked in. So some of them are the best guess. And I give it to this commission. They did a very good job in forcing all of the applicants to get really some really hard numbers. And then again, they put in, a percentage, can't remember what it is, a percentage that will cover any increase as time and, supplies, the cost of doing business, increases. Now, but as the rules state, even if this thing goes up, you still got to do Browns Ferry Water District project first. You got to do that one first. It may be 4 million. I hope it's not, because that starts to bump us down the line. So the contingency, yes. So it may be 4 million, but according to the state law, you're gonna have to. I believe it should say fully funded. I'm not sure. I haven't read the whether it's going to stay at this false, whether it's going to be fully funded, or they're going to lock it in at what this estimate is, plus that, plus the cost increase, percentage. I don't know. I'm not so sure how that's going to work, but it's very, we know it's not going to be this amount here.
Gotcha.
Okay. And it's not locked in. You don't know what the bids are going to come in as. It may be much higher. So a lot of things play into that, but again, based on their best guess, these are what these projects will cost, and that's how it'll be executed in the order that you're presenting them right there. Yeah, and allegedly, this priority list cannot change.
Cannot change. So, and that's where
That's
that,
what concerns me.
yeah,
Are there going to be
and
any
that,
rules, any law, anything that changes that says, oh yeah, well, we did not consider this, and we're going to have to, bump Project 10 up to number 5, and then that's going to push everybody back down. That should not be the case.
yeah, and I
And
mean,
it shouldn't have been the last time.
to the citizens of Georgetown County, you're going to be voting on this, so you better take some time to think. And now we move down the line here to 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. See Andrew's down there again at 12, but there's some other interesting things that I'm not seeing at the top of this list. But okay, here's one that I am interested in seeing: Georgetown County Water and Sewer District. That's crazy, $13 million for Sampit. And what does that mean? So is that enough to cover it so that it doesn't? Does it relieve some of the cost that the citizens are going to have to pay? I wonder. I would like to see the details of that layout there.
So the list that you have and the one I have, there's a difference in that.
Okay.
And I have to make sure, because there's no date on this one, to make sure that nothing.
Well, here I got the sample ballot. These are excerpts from the sample ballot that's going to be.
Well, let me go back. I stand corrected. 13 is 13. So that's the Georgetown County Water and Sewer District. 2.3 million for the Jerusalem and Northwest OPD region. Okay.
So Georgetown County Water and Sewer is they asking for that bread. That's $15 million right there. 15.627, something like that. But yeah, and that's right down between 13 and 10.
And so number 9, your reference is number 9.
What I can't see the top of them. Hold on.
Yeah, so if you're talking about the Sampit Community Sewer Installation,
yeah,
that's number 9.
Yes, that's right. It.
13.3. And again, what I don't know, but the questions that should be asked, is this just the installation of the
infrastructure? There you go. That's what I was saying. Again, I would need to see their presentation. Maybe it does include. Don't know.
I don't know. I don't think it does, because that's an additional assessment. I don't know if they did this based on the distance to get it from where it currently is into the community. That would be just the infrastructure. Now you're talking about the actual tapping into the cost to tap into this public system. And that is that could be very costly too. And and then who eats that cost? Is that the resident, or is that something that is built in here? I don't think it's built into this 13 million.
13 million.
But that's the question that the citizen. And again, we will have a new rep in District 3. So that's District 3. So we're talking, Mr. Ernie Cooper and Mr. Craig Cumbie that are running for this seat. Those are the things that they need to be versed on right now, on how much of this is going to have to come out of taxpayers' pocket, besides the collection of the 1 cent.
And it's you, the taxpayers' pockets, that it's coming out of. So you cannot go to the meetings, and you cannot take any interest in this. You'll pay it, and you won't know what you're paying for.
Yeah,
that's probably not a good place to be in right there. But just wrapping this list out right here. Just the end of it right here. This is the end of the primary list.
Primary list.
Right, Georgetown County, $10 million for emergency operation. Seems like I mean, if they were stacking and racking this thing to priority, seems like some of these things would have been higher on the list. That's why I don't trust it. And that's just me being me. Georgetown County, $4 million for Midway Fire and Rescue. These are some of the same things that they got money for in 2014, right? Georgetown County for MLK Drive, Paul's Island, I was draining, Georgetown County Water and Sewer District. And then there's this list, right? Which is very interesting.
Your contingency list.
The contingency list. And on the top of that is $1 million as a grant match for Merle's Inlet dredging. And I mean, they'll need that every year because that's not, I thought these projects were not supposed to be, and I guess when they put grant match in there, that kind of,
no, because it's the same. It's and you're absolutely right.
They're going to be coming to the trough every other year looking for the same money.
Yeah, this money is not designed to be sustainment dollars. In other words, these money should not be collected to then
maintenance to dredging, which is what they're doing now.
Dredging, unless it's another Merle's Inlet, but this was done in 2014 now, and if you go back and search through some of the reports, there was money already. I don't know, I can't recall where it came from that went into to maintain it. After the initial dredging, then there was more maintenance costs, and now here we are again. And I don't know all of the details, but it's not designed for that. And that's in the law that's written.
No, I don't have it now. I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna add all of these figures up and see how much it is. If it comes in under $80 million, maybe they can get everything done and still have some money to stash away, into their cleanup fund. I mean, their whatever. But that leads me to the local options sales tax. This is something else that you guys are going to be voting on in Georgetown County, and you should educate yourself on it. Now, this money is supposed to be used to help offset the millage tax increase that you are experiencing in Georgetown County this year. And is that supposed to run like right beside simultaneously, right? Like
yes,
is that supposed to run the same length of time as the
with the 8 years. So you'll have two additional
capital project sales tax.
Yeah. 2 additional pennies coming out of us,
$160 million in taxes collected, estimated
between 160 to 200 over 8-year period.
Yeah, because if it plays out like the last time they projected that they were going to take in 27 million, 28 million, and end up taking in 41 million. It stands to reason that with the prices of everything being up like they are, that you're right, they're going to hit that $200 million mark.
And as
Richland County did $1 billion over 10 years.
Yeah, and as things grow, there's no indication that tourism is going to decline. We see the increase, in population.
Yeah.
So then, to your point, they could far exceed this anticipated $200 million. And to your point, if you go back and add up what's what all the total cost of the projects in the contingency list, it may be enough to cover it. I'm not so sure. But the thing is, we have to follow the guidance. Don't change in mid-course. Don't find a loophole where there's something else that just became more important. Find money somewhere else to do it. Don't disrupt this process.
Yeah, because there's a couple lawsuits going on right now with the detention center. One of the defense attorneys said they just shut that place down. Like, whoa, that's that lawsuit with no, that's not that one, but then they got a lawsuit coming with the young lady who lost her life there. So a lot of issues.
So they'll know now that these dollars are not allocated for the building of the new detention center. So that came.
No. Yeah. Don't want to confuse you in that. That came from another one of your pocket. That came. This coming out your two front pockets. The other one come out your back pocket. So hey, Little Caesars is hiring.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, no doubt.
Long awaited Little Caesar Pizza will you see the
Yep, Little
all the information
Caesars
for interviews
is hiring.
or
Apply in
applying, I
person
guess.
at 2 East Main Street, Andrews, South Carolina, Wednesday, September 25th, which is tomorrow between 12 and 4 p.m. Um, and then on Thursday, September 26th, between 2 and 6 p.m., hiring for all positions. So if you don't want to work, don't apply because we need our pizza
Tell us
fast.
about your experience at our other restaurant, new restaurant that stays packed all the time. People, great
Man.
reviews.
Yes, down there at El Chico. Definitely planning to hit them up again this weekend, but it is definitely good. Um, the wait staff is very accommodating. Good margaritas, nice little, you know what I mean? Not too many now. And I had somebody driving just because APD is on it right now. So just want y'all to know.
Yeah, so the food is delicious, and so
Food definitely.
yeah, that's what I'm getting, and again, great service, and so we're gonna try to get in there on Thursday as we say farewell to a couple of employees,
Mm.
take them out there and fatten them up a little bit, and send them off and to do some great things, on the other side of town.
No doubt. Speaking of the other side of town, schedule has changed. And I'll be looking for some kind of because I know this affects the town schedule when we have this kind of weather this time of year. So, but due to the possibility of inclement weather associated with tropical storm / hurricane, Friday's football game at Hanahan has been moved to Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. and that will be in Hanahan. Okay, there's another
All right.
happy customer over there at the Mexican restaurant in Andrews, South Carolina.
I'm telling you, so I'll get that experience on Thursday. Looking forward to it. Yeah, the judge was describing her the dish that she got and how I think it was the chicken and cheese, all kind of great stuff. All the things that I really love that got me up to 210 pounds not so long ago. So I gotta be careful with everything I intake now because it agrees with me.
No doubt they are doing their thing. I just I'm just I don't know. I'm curious. Just kind of shifting gears here. Here's a picture right here from what's up with the county and maintaining all of the property over there at the rec department. And you guys can ride by and see this at any time, tomorrow morning, anytime. I have again, hey man, I'm conspiracy theory. I'm that guy. Okay. Um, why are they not? And I'm not. I know you don't have the answer to that, but somebody from the county is watching. Scott, can you get this question up to to your leaders? That's man. But what's up with that? Why would they do that? I mean, it just speculating. What do you think? What's the purpose of that?
What's that?
That's
Well,
where the
I
gym
think
was. That's where the gym where they knocked down that gym that was contaminated with. Let's go back through it. It was contaminated with black mold and asbestos, and by the way, there was a gas line there that broke, and one of the county employees got hurt, and this all got wiped under the rug through a what's the name of that PD? What's the name of that contract that they used to get rid of this to pay for that
is the type of contract, the IDIQ.
IDIQ? There you go. I'm like PD Quick, the the Edie I mean contract.
It just means that you've had a contract with a company that was qualified to do this type of work, which is demo and And because of the urgency and the safety concerns, you can go directly to that company to do the work as opposed to sending it through a bid, because it was a very large amount of money associated with the demo or the abatement. I don't know if they did any abatement
no, they didn't want to pay Andrews for the water. I was on them.
yeah.
They said I called DHEC on them, and they had to stop.
So I think it was 300 some odd thousand.
300 something thousand. And you just made me think of something like, okay, and you said safety and all this other stuff. So as a homeowners in Andrews, South Carolina, you should listen to this. Listen to what I'm saying right now. Then why can't they use a IDIQ or that kind of contract to address the flooding issues in Andrews?
Well, a couple things. Again, that option to get around the whole, contracting and bid process and all that stuff, that you have to give, contractors a fair shot at, being awarded this contract. That's the only time that really this contract type can be used. But you have had to have had and I don't want to say relationship, but you have had to use this company before for a like project. That means you can get approval to go through that, to expedite this process to get to this urgent need. Now, if they didn't have one existing, if they didn't have a relationship or someone who, a company that has, done some type of demolition, then they would have to go through the process to get it bidded, and then everybody, get it bid out so everybody can have a shot at this I think it's $324,000 that they end up paying for this work. But I think a bigger question is, if that money was that ready available, why wasn't that money used to then repair that building where the ambulance was? Which would
save according to what it cost, what they were saying it was going to cost them to
$300,000.
They would have saved about $50,000.
You're right. So I think, words matter. Everything is recorded. So then, yes. So then we could have, if that was the reason for moving the ambulance, because this building was in such disrepair, but your estimate was $300,000 to replace the roof. That was, I don't know where that estimate came from, but that's what they said. But then in a few short weeks, $324,000 was discovered to take care of this building that should not have been in the condition it was in the first place. And it's those kind of things that make you very very concerned about going into another agreement with the same people when we start talking about the sales tax. So they got to understand these things are dots that are being connected that keeps, for me, I'm like, okay, should I trust this? Because you told me you didn't have it. It costs too much. But I would say then, if lives are, if this is a life-saving resource, then it shouldn't be any money that is too much.
Depends on what part of the county it's happening in. I think that's kind of the criteria. But here, guys, here's a look at your sample ballot. That you're going to be looking at here in November. You can find this on the Georgetown County website.
So if you go back, if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
And again, these are the actual, candidates for these. This is it. This is, you can say sample. This is it. So as we look at the obviously in the president and vice president.
Write my name in. Right. Hold on a second.
Hold
on. Wait. Let me go ahead and do this right now. Sorry, sir. I apologize. But ladies and gentlemen, let me speak to you guys from the new Oval Office, right? This ain't Mar-a-Lago. This is my room go.
I didn't know Cornell West name is in there.
All right, guys. I would love to be the president of the United States of America. And to the watchers of Welcome to Andrews, the podcast, I think I have a reputation of bringing the truth and just protecting the American way. of life. And so on November 5th, do not waste your vote on Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Cast your vote for Jamal S. Richardson. Thank you. This message is approved. I approve of this message because I made it. So
I'm sorry. I'm back on. I'm sorry.
if you vote for me, just let me know. If we gonna have a just one vote will be a victory, and so we gonna.
I think you're gonna get one.
Yes, sir. We'll be celebrating because with that 1 or 2 votes, you can get a cabinet position. Put in cabinet.
I think you got some fans out there.
Oh man!
But yeah, so yeah, that it's a big deal. This election across the board, up and down, is very important. So we must be registered. 30 days for South Carolina for folks of South Carolinians.
It's coming quick. October 5th to be here in about a week.
If you're not registered, you will not be allowed to vote. So 30 days prior, which is again is I guess October 5th. Please don't wait until October 5th to do this.
And you can do it right now on your phone. Pick up your cell phone and do it right now.
Yeah, let's have a say in who your reps are.
I'm gonna need that vote. So, matter of fact, I'm gonna do a voter drive.
And so I want to talk, again for people, for these elected officials at the U.S. House of Representatives District 7. That impacts the town of Andrews. Mm-hmm. Senate race,
that's going to be Russell Fry on the Republican side,
Hyman.
And Mel Hyman on the Democrat side.
Right
now,
everybody know Senator Ronnie Sabb is our district 32 rep.
Yep.
He doesn't have an opposition.
And go down to State House Rep, District 103, Carl Anderson. Uncontested. You can write my name in any one of those categories, guy.
You say anything from the president?
Disrupt the process. I'm telling you right now. Just write any one of them. Just write them in all of them. Like, yeah, he good for all of that. I'm running for everything.
You gonna run for sheriff too?
Write it down. No, I can't. Legally, I can't run for sheriff. I don't live in. I probably have to live in these other districts. Just run. I'm running for president. Just
all right. So I see Sheriff Carter has opposition. Probate judge.
Yep.
And I met that young lady, great lady there, Judge Bone, just this past week. And of course, everyone knows the clerk of court has been doing this for a long time. Is doing an outstanding job. Alma White.
Don't write me in for that now.
You don't want to be the clerk of court.
Nah.
All right, we got the coroner. I see Chase Ridgway unopposed.
Yeah, he doing a pretty good job right now. Just keep Chase in there.
Ken Baker is the auditor.
I don't even know what the auditor does. No, I know.
Yeah, I know him. Good guy. County treasurer. Who's that? Miss Miriam Mace. It's unopposed.
Well, hey, listen. Georgetown County heavy Republican over here now. Oh man.
And so again for Andrews, Sanford, Santee,
absolutely,
Grave Station, Osita, Greentown, South Island. Did I miss anybody? That's the Lambertown. I said. Did I see Lambertown?
Yep.
So all of you in these 8 major communities in District 3, this is the immediate impact on us.
What does Craig Cubby stand for? I mean, it stand for what is his? I mean, I haven't heard anything from him. Have you heard anything from him publicly?
No. I've met Mr. Cumby at several of the county council meetings, but I haven't seen this. Heard anything from his platform. There's an article that's written some time ago that was brought to my attention last night, so I haven't read through it. But I'm certainly in support of Ernie Cooper on this. He's the guy we work with very closely doing the primary, and he won that in um, what do you call it? Bottom line, he's
Runoff.
in the runoff. That's what I'm looking for. Um, Certainly, Senator Saab, that we're out supporting. So, but people make up your mind. Get to know the candidates out there. Get to know the candidates, and what they stand for.
And if you get to the point where you like, I don't know, just remember Jamal S. Richardson.
He said, if you're the default,
just go to, you know what I mean? If you like, man, I want to throw a monkey wrench in the process, write me in. Let's do it.
Hey, but here's something interesting, not impacting us, but I have a friend that's currently sitting as a councilman for one of the small towns in South Carolina. Mm-hmm. And right now there's this thing that I don't know. I guess it's an ordinance, and I won't call the city or town. But so he's running for mayor now, but they're telling him he's going to have to. Now he has 2 years left on his current seat, but he's going to have to resign from that to run for this position, and that doesn't make sense to me. Well, right now they got him running his name on both ballots as the mayor or for the mayor, and I've never heard that before. And I'm trying to tell them this is not something I'm familiar with. I don't know how you
sounds like he needs some
you could
legal,
potentially get elected for both seats.
Yeah, sounds like he needs some legal representation because he can find himself in a pickle.
And just to be on the safe side, I think he's filed. So I don't know what's going on there. I hope to talk to him tomorrow to see what's going on. But I've never heard that before, where you can on the same council run for 2 seats, or you would have to. When you're currently, it's just into two of your 4 years. So I don't understand that. And I guess that should get all of our attention, even with all of the changes, the nuances, with all the things you have to have in order before you vote. So if your license have changed from the address that you have on your registration card, you better get those two aligned, because that alone will not allow you to vote in this upcoming election. It's simple things like that.
Yep. And listen, don't assume that your friend or your family member is registered. Ask them. Just ask them. It's not going to, I don't think that's offensive. You know what I mean? Maybe they'll be like, yeah, I'm registered. You know what I mean? Like, cool, relax. Are you, just make sure, when was the last time you voted?
Right.
Because sometimes you can be, think you're still registered and missed a couple election cycles and fall off of that active voter registration role. But it's an easy process. scvotes.gov. Yep. Go there.
Yeah, and I think it should. We should probably try to hear from some of the party chairs, here in the next week or so, to see, hear what they got to say about their party, and give them a chance to talk about this upcoming election.
Yeah, it's we're at that point.
Yeah.
Where again,
because early voting starts at the 21st of October.
Mm-hmm.
Absentee ballot and all that stuff. Everything has a date, and if you miss those deadlines, and they're very particular. I think now that I can't remember where I read it, but you can't. You have in terms of how you obtain an absentee ballot, it's very different. So get on SC Votes. Is it scvote.org?
.gov.
.gov.
Mm-hmm.
And become familiar with all of these things that makes you a registered voter.
Yeah, and if you got
several, and that's the other thing too. Your file could, if you haven't voted in the last 2 elections or whatever, you could go into an inactive file that you now have to call and get them to activate your file. And if it's more than that time, I think 2 or 3 elections, you go into what they call into the archives.
Mm-hmm.
And if you archive, that means you're going to have to re-register.
Yeah, and if you got kids in college, again, pay attention to that absentee voting date and get those kids make sure you remind them of that process.
Yeah, it's important, folks, and we can't, you can't sit around. You can, complain after the fact if you don't vote, but we have our chance right now. Whomever you decide, to vote for, give yourself a chance by making sure that you take advantage of everything that's out here. And again, if you're confused, Jamal S. Richardson.
There you go. There you go. Everything you want, I support it. That's you know what I mean. I'm that kind of politician. Yes. Reparations. Yes. 3 days, 2 day school week. Yes. We can work on that. Anything,
all right, listen to this candidate, people. I'm not so sure this is going to work out for America. So, words matter.
Hey, just know, I ain't gonna lie to you. It might not always be the truth, but it's
I like that one.
Oh man, that's a politician.
You might be qualified. Did you hear me? He said it might not be the truth, but he's not going to lie to you. I'm going to have to let that marinate for a minute. And it flowed real well.
Yeah, hey, listen. Might have a future, man, and
hey.
Slip into one of these representative spots. Like, who is this guy, man?
And
I don't think I think I can pull it off. And I mean, go to a place I'm really not known, like I just kind of start showing up, to the meetings and boom, hit a couple churches, a couple barbecues, and boy, he the next Martin Luther King. You know what I mean?
And listen, the lieutenant governor of North Carolina is in some hot water now that he's being compared to MLK. So I don't know if that was a good example.
Yeah, I don't know. But hey, man, listen, Trump is a master, man, of getting his name or getting his story, because he's gonna say exactly what it takes for somebody to just like, oh, I got to print that. I can't believe he said that. Yeah, you can. You mean it's free press.
It wouldn't work for anybody else, but it apparently works.
The kid, that's just one of them things. It's a master. That's just like Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg is like one of those unique characters. You know what I mean? Like even with everything that comes with Snoop Dogg, this dude is hosting the Olympics. You feel what I'm saying? Like 50 couldn't even do that. You feel what I'm saying?
We all not blessed with that. So again, pay attention to what these folks are saying and what these folks are doing, and make sure they align. That's just the bottom line. Hey, I want to talk with Miss Sandra Johnson. Also is running for District 3 school board seat. She's an incumbent, and so again, I'm all things Andrews and District 3 in the county.
I mean, if you on board again, and that's the thing. Like it's got to be that kind of concern at all levels and through just the average citizen of who these people are, because they are making decisions that I hear people now talking about them not being able to use property in Andrews because of different ordinances that were passed years and years and years ago. Well, where were you years and years and years ago? And that's what you like when you're talking about these decisions having a second and third order effect. This is, it may feel good right now, but how is it going to affect, the future generation, 10 years, 20 years down the line?
That's right.
So, but here's Ms. Johnson. Let me play a little interview with her real fast.
Okay.
This was from the 9/11 memorial, and I recommend you guys check out that program.
And check your inbox. I just sent the dates and things that the dates and times for all of the milestones you have to meet to be eligible.
All right, gotcha. All right, I'm here at the 9/11 memorial, and I ran into a candidate who is the incumbent for District 3 school superintendent spot, Miss Sandra. School District 3. Okay. All right. First of all, thank you for coming on here. What'd you think about the program?
It was quite an excellent one, and it is certainly something that we will never forget. And as our mayor, pointed out, we should not forget, and we won't forget.
Okay, like I said, you are the incumbent, and so we got a race coming up here in November, general election. I look forward to sitting down at another occasion and talking to you more about, what it is, the vision that you have for District 3. But just real quick, a quick message to some of the potential voters as to why we need you back at District 3. In District 3.
A big part of it, I believe, is because we have to, we're in the process of choosing another superintendent, a new superintendent. And so I feel that my knowledge and experience on the board would be helpful for me to be there, especially since there will be some new members for sure, and some other ones who have not served as long as I have. And so I feel like my experience might be helpful for the new administration that will be coming in. And I have had the privilege of serving District 3 for a while now, and would like to continue to see all of the work that we have started, get completed, from our bond referendum, where we were able to upgrade all the facilities in the county, all the high schools, and even the bus service. So I just feel that, again, my experience being there would be helpful.
Well, I've heard nothing but good things about you in that regard. You come, I was told I had to talk to you, so here I am, and I appreciate you and all you do for. All right, I'm here. that was an accident. I'm just keeping it real with you, but I was some signs that just were left around today, and that was an accident. But
oh my God,
I'll just share it with you. I'll just throw that in there. Oh man. Listen, we definitely got to invite her on next Tuesday.
And I think, hey, any of the candidates that want to come on,
yeah,
maybe we should open the, next Tuesday.
Yeah,
for any of the candidates that want to come on and
any candidates, if yeah.
Did I lose you? I think Mr. Jamal is frozen here. Oh, there he is. Is this where I exercise my Alexander Haig? I'm in charge because you're frozen.
My internet just kind of.
Hey, we got to talk to Congressman Clyburn to get you guys some broadband up there.
Problem with my internet.
Yeah, you better put a request in for the broadband.
Okay.
All right, you're moving in super slow motion.
All right. Oh, we back?
No, sir, not yet.
Nope.
I can hear